That's all it's doing on my end too. Maybe we should Oh, are we? Oh, I can. Okay. All
Are
right.
we
I think we're
live?
live now.
Fuck,
Yeah.
we're live. It should have
Right.
told us. God
Well,
damn it.
okay. I have live on my corner. So, are you live on your end?
Yeah, I'm live on my end
Okay.
too.
Oh,
I was
that
really
was
hoping we were getting out of this shit. We'd be
well,
like,
you know.
StreamYard's fucked up. Fuck you guys. We're gonna have a vacation.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I have. Oh, did you get the error message on your end? Oh, things are
Yeah, for
acting up.
Twitter. Yeah, I'm cutting it out now. It's just for
Oh,
Twitter.
okay. It was just
Because
Twitter.
what I
Okay.
don't understand is everybody's still streaming to fucking Twitter. If you guys are in the damn StreamYard and you're getting errors, just remove your Twitter accounts from the feed unless you're paying for fucking premium. And I know no one on Indie Comics Network is paying for it. So you guys
Right.
get your shit together. Also, like, y'all need to get in this StreamYard and fucking connect your destinations because, you know, they're not. And yeah, that's not what the
Right.
show is about.
That's probably why everything is kind of glitching.
Yeah, it's time for somebody to fucking jump in and start being like, hey, y'all need to take care of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
That
Well.
somebody's me.
Uh-huh.
Fuck my life, Daphne.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. You're tempting the fates. The universe only hears "fuck your life."
Fuck the fate.
and takes you up on that challenge.
For fuck's sake.
Oh,
it is like a fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know. Is Mercury in retrograde or some hippie
all
shit
the planets
I don't
are
know about?
I don't know. All the planets are in retrograde. It's like all the planets are in retrograde. Today's the opening ceremony for the Paris Olympics, and it's the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con.
And the moon's full, right? No,
and I think so.
Oh,
maybe.
Jesus fucking Christ. See, I'm all kinds of misaligned.
Right, yeah.
I gotta find out what's wrong with me. It's either my chakras or my vertebrae or something. I need some kind of goddamn alignment. I don't know if it's physical or spiritual, but I need help right now.
Right. Well, you know what I need right now?
What's that?
I need to know what day it is.
Oh, my bad. It is Friday, July 26, 2024, and this is the Raging 2, the vlogs. The show that almost didn't air today.
Yeah, I know, right?
Comics.
So you ready for this?
Fuck no, but here we go.
Trigger warning. Fuck you.
That is definitely mood for today. Oh my goodness. So good morning, Nita.
Good morning, Daphne.
And good morning to anybody joining us in this stream.
They're not. They're like, fuck y'all, I'm out. Oh, Rob said the full moon was on the 21st. Okay, well, I'm just feeling the effects, you know.
Right, yeah, exactly. Also, I think no one is hanging out with us because they're all at San Diego Comic-Con. Lucky bastards.
Oh, and inner Leo, and I'm a Pisces. So that. Good morning, Grant. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. And yes, I see you, my beautiful eyeball people, watching us from regions beyond, or at least from San Diego Comic-Con.
God damn, does it not look fantastic this year?
It looks wonderful.
And everybody's having a great time, and it's I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I know, right? And if you are joining us from Facebook, if you are joining us from LinkedIn, come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat or whatever, whoever's in there.
Rob and Grant.
Oh, hello. So keep Rob and Grant company.
They're the sexiest because they're sexy and loyal.
There you go. that works out, right? And yeah, and while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. We might as well get this hot mess started. So hello everyone, my name is Daphne Lage and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I've been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together. And if you gotta take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together. Get your shit together.
God,
Don't
that is
you
such the
tell me
theme
what
of the
to
day.
do.
It's
Ha!
such a theme for the day too. Oh my goodness. I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which returns to Kickstarter later on this year with Tall Tales Tears of the Mother Volume 1 of the new story arc, collecting issues 1 through 4 of this 8-issue limited series. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy drama Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which I received almost all of my stuff from the Eagle Raven Volume 2 campaign.
Already?
So we're very close to actually fulfilling. So, but I'm still waiting for a couple of things. Yeah, so thank you everybody who supported the campaign. You should be getting your books out soon. In the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Daphne Lage Art. You can watch my videos at Daphne Lage Art, but you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com and talltalesonline.com. And I just said, and on YouTube at Daphne Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. Like I said, I gotta get my shit together today. And to tell you more about it, here's Nina.
Oh my God, Daphne, we're both out.
No,
Bruh, that's
both out.
we're both out. Like you know how we said it would just be like the worlds would collide if we didn't have a day where one of us was the adult and
Oh
stayed.
yeah, no, we're both out today. Yeah, no, I know.
Today,
I know. Today's the day. Today's
Oh,
the day.
shit.
Neither of us have our shit together today.
No, neither of us have our shit together. And my name is Nita, and I have a Google account, and it runs the Indie Comics Network. You can find it at indiecomicsnetwork.com. It's just a fucking YouTube channel where myself and my friends and people I think are kind of cool stream.
Right.
That's it, bro.
That's it. Where is it?
indiecomicsnetwork.com.
That's all we get today.
That's what you get.
Right. That's what we get today.
And I don't even know what the fucking deal is. Like, I woke up like this.
Right. Yeah.
Like, the moment I woke up, I knew it was a bad day before
Right.
I even fucking threw the covers off, let
Yeah.
alone let my feet hit the floor.
Yeah. No, I
Like-
mean it's
Everybody like, fuck.
yeah. Yeah. Like it's just that, oh yeah. I mean it's everybody wants to make easy shit complicated. That's kind of the theme I have on my end. Grant says, quick off-topic question. Recommendations for trade printing. I can't believe how expensive every printer I've looked at is. Look, I'm still getting my trade paperbacks printed at Mixam, and yes, they are expensive. But the thing is, though, is that when it comes to hey Michael, when it comes to print on demand, there isn't really a lot of options, and the problem is that as an average Kickstarter, like me personally, I don't sell enough to justify the cost of going offset, which would
Right.
significantly bring down the price per unit, but my upfront cost would be significantly more.
Although Grant still does cons and stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah. So
it's kind of like do you feel like fucking,
right. I mean,
I don't know,
because
offset might be good for him.
right. Yeah. So if you're willing to invest in printing like 1,000 or 2,000.
What I'm saying.
Rob says that's why I print the trades through China and because of the specialty die cut. Yeah,
Well,
it's
not
like
everybody can be all fancy with their diamond cut books, Rob.
yeah. Well, he covers them in Swarovskis. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. It's
I actually
like-
have a couple covers like that. I don't know. I never understood the point in that, but people
right.
really,
Just
I have crystal covers.
they're
It's like,
shiny.
I
Just
wouldn't pay for it, but people have sent them to me.
right. Well, I mean, I just something gimmicky, I guess. You put like one or two Swarovskis on it. Let's see. I printed League of Cryptids in China, and it was so cheap. Yeah, I mean, I would think that would be your option.
I would too, and I would recommend that for you because I see pictures of you and Angie out and about.
Right.
And
If you're doing a lot of conventions, yeah.
It's probably worth it to just fucking bite that initial bullet and fucking.
Right. It's like what? It's like, you put up the initial cost of like $3,000 and get like and get it bulk printed.
Oh,
and then
shit. Over
right.
1,000.
Oh, right. Oh, there you go.
Man, a place where you can do
right. Yeah. So it looks like that you had your own answer. Like I said, I don't print. I mean, like I don't sell enough to justify it. I don't do conventions. Oh, you have to be careful with that. Yeah, Michael says
very much so.
A lot of gratuitous sex in the books they print. It really depends.
Grant's a good boy, Michael.
Yeah, but but there was an author that I was talking to a while ago, and we were kind of talking about like the fact where she was getting her stuff printed, and she was using a company in China, and she's writing like a smutty book. She's doing a smutty book, and it had some like male nudes in it. That was like the extent of the illustrations, right?
Like nude, like
nudes, like dick out nudes. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Dick
and
out.
There was an issue with her printer that it's like that they were like going, oh, we don't know if this is going to pass the censors or not. We might not be able to print it. I think in the end she was, but it was kind of hairy for a bit. Because it's like, because it's like, are they going to read it? Yeah, it's like, are they going to read it? I mean, it's like, is it just the pictures? Is it just, So that's something to keep in mind. I'm just nervous I'm going to be able to afford 1,000 trade paperbacks. Yeah. I mean, that's, it's like, I mean, well, it's like not only afford, but, can you sell them?
Oh, he could absolutely move them. I'm confident in that.
Right.
I mean, just that initial.
Yeah. But it's like, it's like
80 cents somewhere where you could do half that.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's like, what
have you Chinese, the Chinese shipment?
Right.
Like
have you spoken to Carissa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak to Carissa. I know that, because it's like she does trades all the time, and not only that, she gets them in hardcover too.
Yeah.
So, and her, she likes to print shit all in advance. Hey there. We like the posts. Thank you, Mr. GoldenEye. So talk to Carissa. Maybe she has an option for you.
Yeah, Carissa.
Like, he said, Carissa Grant. Yeah. I mean, because 80 cents sounds good until you have to print
until it's 1,000 fucking books.
And it's like, oh wait.
But I want to say I've seen several shipments of like 500.
I've seen that too.
So it's like somewhere overseas is printing half that, and I think the cost was right about the same. Might have been 85 cents.
Right. Yeah, but you would have But that's really because in the United States you can't get those types.
No.
Those, it's like, hey, because we had to ship all our manufacturing overseas for some reason. I promise I'm backing House of Bob because I am an adult and can make adult choices. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, and because Michael mentioned it, just to remind everybody that House of Bob, the sketchbook, the adult furry sketchbook set, which includes Mondo Bondo, is launching August 19th. The link is in the show notes and in the chat as well. I had just posted it this morning. Also, really quick too, because Jose, being the feral animal that he is, he launched another Kickstarter campaign today. The Oswald Chronicles. Which one was it? Jesus Christ.
fuck. I know this.
Yes, I know. When
Tender Souls.
Mourn. When Tender Souls Mourn issues 1 and 2 is on Kickstarter. It's live right now. Last I checked, it was already more than half the goal because, like I said, Jose is our little feral animal. He does whatever the fuck he wants on Kickstarter. No notifications, no warning. He just does it, and he funds anyway. So so that link is also in the show notes as well. So also, if you did pledge to the My Life with Clive trade paperback, we're shipping out the first batch today. We're just waiting for the reprint shipment to come in. The printer lost half our order, so we're waiting for those to get reprinted. We should have them by next week. And so the first books are going out today. So there's that. Oh my goodness. So so speaking of Kickstarters, right? So yesterday I got my orders for Eagle Raven, right? So I got, for Eagle Raven Volume 2, the campaign. So I got my copies in. And so I'm still waiting for stuff to come in because it's like there's all these components, and even though I ordered everything early, it's like I still have to wait for them. Honestly, the books took faster than I expected, and all the ancillary things took longer. It's taking longer than it's kind of like the reverse. Usually it's the books that take longer. Right. And especially with trades, I was like, that was the first thing I ordered because I thought, the trades usually take longer than if I'm doing individual comics. And it's like everything is Bizarro World ordering, so I'm still waiting for other things, but I just want to show what I have. So right now, right, what I'm doing, Jose says that I should buy a machine for this, but so I got my new bookmarks, promotional bookmarks that everyone's going to be getting, right? So what I've been doing is that I've been rounding the corners with my new favorite.
Is that what that fucking shit was yesterday? I'm sitting here I'm working with you, right? And I'm letting tab.
Yes. Right, and if you hear the clicking, that's this, okay. Right?
So it's like, what the fuck is she doing? Because it didn't sound like your keyboard.
Right. No, yeah. So it's like, so I was just like rounding
I want you to know I heard that sound in my head for an hour after we got out of the StreamYard.
Yeah, no, it's so I've been rounding the corners, right? Because I just like the way it looks. And also it seems like, especially with these types of things, they seem to last longer if the corners are rounded than if they're just pointed, right?
They do.
And also it's like, especially if you're sliding like business cards in a wallet or something, they slide in a lot easier than if you're dealing with a pointed corner. So, well, if you're dealing with a corner, pointed corner as opposed to a rounded corner. So I have to get through like 250. And Jose goes, why don't you just get the machine that does that? There's this crank machine that you can do it in bulk. Because this way I can only do it like one at a time. And it's like, they're not that expensive. I think
it's good for you. It works out your hands.
Well, that's true.
It's a different movement that's repetitive for exercise. Right. Because this right here, all day, every day.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, I just haven't decided. So I have another set of bookmarks coming in today. So everyone's going to be getting 2 bookmarks. I think you'll appreciate this one, especially Nita, because there was a piece that Jaden had done for me as like a test. Like we were trying to test out like how she would working from other people from my layouts and redrawing stuff. And I did a double-sided bookmark from that artwork.
You should totally send a few of those.
Oh no, absolutely.
Okay.
I just haven't decided though whether I want to put a hole in it and get those tassels to go with it.
Well, I mean, at least for one.
Right, at least. So I'm still deciding on that. So I should be getting those in today. And also I got the if you backed where's my stickers? If you backed the Nightwolf campaign.
Oh yeah. Hold up,
right. So I got the stickers and the print. So here's the postcard print that you're going to be getting, and here's the actual stick, and here's the sticker that you're going to be getting with that. So that came in. I'm very happy with the way they came out. So I'm looking forward to. You know that I got like over like 30 people who took advantage of this.
Oh yeah, that was fucking an incredible crossover, like
Yeah,
or cross promotion.
yeah, that ended up pretty. I like it. So thank you everybody who backed both Nightwolf and Eager Raven. Also, if you backed Sky of Thorns, which is the not the young adult, the new adult romance novel by Krista Crawford, you also get. I'm waiting for the print, but I did get the sticker. The crossover sticker that everyone's going to be getting for that as well. So, also, right. So,
Bob says he loves those. They look great. Yeah, they do.
oh, they
Yeah.
do. They do. You know. So now here's the thing. Here's where I kind of like get into a little issue, right? So I'm sitting here rounding corners, right? And and Jose's like rolling his eyes because like, why are you even bothering? And two,
'Cause we like
why don't you
aesthetics.
don't you just buy the machine that does it, right? So, like I said, it's like $80. I probably just should buy it because I can just round all the corners of
And what will
everything.
you fidget with?
Right. Yes. I
It's
could.
multi-purpose.
Right. But you see, the difference is that if I do this long enough, my fingers start hurting.
Eh.
So at least with the crank, I could do a whole bunch of them at the same time. So
True that.
yeah. So okay. So this is so
Hi,
like
William.
I said, Jose's rolled his eyes. Jose rolled
Of
his
course he
eyes
did.
at the whole thing, right? Because it's like because the aesthetic is very important to me. I really after Baltimore Comic-Con and I realized how nice everything looked with rounded corners. It's like, okay, everything now is going to have rounded corners, right? All my trading cards, all my my bookmarks, all my postcards. And what was annoying is that the postcards came with the option for rounded corners, but the bookmarks didn't.
Huh.
That really annoyed
That's
me.
weird.
It's like, how do you have? I mean, you're in the same place. How do you not? Why can't you just run the bookmarks? Get the rounded corners, right?
Did you message him and just ask?
Yeah, I should, right? Next time.
Yeah,
It's like,
because chances are they can. They just
Mhm.
didn't think to add it as an option.
Right,
But it
which is
works
weird.
incredibly well for the paper bookmarks because if those fuckers,
Yeah.
they're notorious for fucking catching a corner and just starting to fray up or peel back, separate the
Right.
layers.
Yeah. So I like
Yeah.
it with the rounded corners.
I bet they could.
So I just want to show off what like kind of like a rough idea as to how I'm going to pack these. So just so that I can get kind of like an idea if I'm going overboard or not.
You always
Okay.
go overboard. It's great.
Yeah. So I ended up getting, I know I showed this on a previous show, but I ended up getting like specialty tape for this campaign. So all the packages are going to have this specialty tape, right? So here's the box that everyone's going to be getting, which ironically is cheaper than the boxes that we usually get. So maybe we should be using these white boxes more often. So you're going to get, you're going to get them with the nice specialty tape on it, right?
Right.
You kind of get the idea here,
Ooh,
right?
I feel like I'm opening something kinky.
Special, right?
Special. Special. That's what I meant. Kinky.
Right, sure.
God, what a bird.
Right. And then it's like when you open. So remember, this is kind of like a rough setup that
when
I
you
have.
Open, there's a pair of lacy panties right on top.
No,
One and only one.
But you kind of get like a little thank you.
Oh, look at you.
Sticker. That's
yeah.
I had like all these extra labels that I don't use anymore because I bought like the Dymo label maker for shipping. So right. I had all like a stack like this of extra label stickers that I didn't know what to do with them. So I just said, it's like, you know what? It's like, let me just do something like this. So you open it up and you get the gang all there and they're saying thank you for supporting special like a short bus.
Very
right. And then, it's like, you're going to get everything wrapped. And then there's going to be a sticker right here. I'm waiting for that. I have a feeling that won't come until next week as well. So there's going to be a sticker here. And then when you open it, right? So this is going to be the little pack that's going to be like all the extras, like the postcards and the stickers. That's all going to be in here, right? So it's like this little pretty little paper bag, because
It's
I'm
a gift bag.
little gift
Yay.
bag, so it's
Yeah.
like, so everything's all nice and neat, right?
Thank you for coming to the party.
Yes, exactly. And then you're going to have, the books, right? So you're going to have the books here, right? And they're bagged and boarded, all nice. But this is the thing that I did different this time around. So when you turn them over, there is now a custom seal on the back of the book. Now, before anyone starts to get a little worried about that, right? So Sticker App, because it's like, Sticker Mule's the better quality, but Sticker App is actually less expensive, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's just glossy. Sticker Mule has like a more textured, thicker quality sticker.
Right.
So Sticker App had the option for removable, like low tax stickers. And I've been looking on doing something like to seal the bags, kind of give it like a little zhuzh,
Right.
So they had low tax stickers, which they said that's like, oh, this is good if you want to make stickers for your kids, and they can stick them and it's just removable, right? So I put these on this morning. So the idea is that you should be able to just easily open them without it ripping. And
when I pull that book out, is it going to snag my page, or is it
the whole the thing is, that I don't know.
So remove the whole thing and have yourself a sticker.
Right, you can. Yeah, you see, and that's the thing too, because you can see you can remove the whole thing.
There you go.
Right, so it's not going to rip, or at least it's not supposed to. I had this since this morning just to test it. So the whole thing is that the sticker is removable and reusable. So it shouldn't. So it's a little bit more interesting than washi tape, even though I have washi tape. But I wanted to do something a little bit more, I don't know, personalized. Extra, right? Yeah.
Acme is no basic bitch.
That's true, right? So, so as you can see, it's like I've already removed the sticker several times already and just put it back, and that's it. So I thought that was like pretty interesting to do. So now, so it's like, like I said, Jose just likes to throw things in a box, wrap it up in the packing tape, and call it.
Don't say it like that. Jose does throw stuff in the box, but he packages his shit well.
Well, right. They definitely survive. They definitely survive shipping.
I received a package for the Oswald Chronicles one time that I just knew I was going to have to be like, hey, dude, can you send me another book?
Right. Oh, yeah. Like they had bent it or something.
They had bent the shit out. It looked like somebody, it looked like my postal worker got mad that she couldn't cram it in the mailbox, and she laid it on the ground and fucking stomped it. I mean, it was fucking rough. Like
your mail person is.
Well, I mean, you run outside and be like, "You stupid fucking bitch! You can't read." Yeah, that tends to happen.
Oh well,
the first time the envelope said "Do not bend," and she bent original art. Right. So yeah, we've not been cool since like we moved in here.
Right.
And it's the same one most of the time.
Right.
So yeah, it's like she goes out of her way. She will take a fucking Gemini mailer and press down into the corners to make it, because my mailbox is just like
that's a lot of effort to go through.
It is, but she hates me with a passion because I
well, you know. I mean, and then the worst part is
when I opened Jose's package, nothing, not a fucking thing was damaged.
Right. I think I remember that. Yeah, you were a little worried.
Yeah, I was tripping.
The shit looked like it was run over by a truck.
It did.
Right.
Yeah. That's what it.
And let's see, Michael, the art on those stickers and bookmarks show you are a great artist and strive to reach your heights. Oh, thank you.
We have praise kinks here.
Yes, exactly. Flattery gets you everywhere here.
It's currency.
I mean, it's like, yeah, like I like I'm trying, like in the past I used to go really overboard with all the extra stuff, but like I've been trying really to kind of like tone it down, and but still give the person things that they would like to have. So like a bookmark makes sense with a trade, two bookmarks make sense with a trade. It's like,
Right.
but the thing is, like, do you think that like this is a little like too much? Am I putting a
No,
little
I
too
don't.
much effort?
No, I don't. Because here's why, dude. Okay, first of all, it's your fucking trade. We always said that if you're gonna make an event out of something,
Right.
that's it.
Mhm.
So you're giving an experience.
Yeah, that's how I like to think about it. Like, like the regular individual issues,
The
you know,
Enron special.
the
Like
what?
the Enron special.
Oh,
Like
no.
fucking yeah, it's like you get your Ego Raven tape, you get like everything. Yeah, no, it's
Right.
fucking awesome. So,
Because it's like, yeah, because I don't know, because sometimes it's because like I said, Jose is not, like I said, he just throws the bubble, his stuff in there, the box, tapes it up,
I get excited because he's doing the poly mail, the
yeah, sometimes
vinyl.
he puts, yeah,
Yeah, like those are fucking
like that,
great.
that's
Like
fancy as he gets,
I
you
mean,
know.
but that's the difference. You're getting a mouse and then you're getting a unicorn princess.
Right, yeah, I guess, right,
It
it's all
needs to be spiced up.
I mean, like, when is too much too much? Like, have you ever gotten a package where it's just like, oh, this is too much?
Yeah,
This is
I got a
way too
package with
extra.
scratch and sniff stickers one time. That was
Well,
too
that's,
much. No,
oh, it wasn't. I mean, it sounds like it could have been a cute idea.
it could have been, except for it was panties.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
Oh, please tell me it had at least a normal scent or something, like strawberries or something.
No, and it's like okay, and the accuracy
Uh,
of it makes you wonder. Like,
what?
yeah,
Oh, that's
like no, it smelled
no.
like Jim Crotch or some shit.
No, that who? No, no, no. There's, it's like, no, no,
Yes, true
no.
story, true story. It was like, wow, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
well, okay. Yeah, that might be a little.
Uh,
That might have been crossing the line a bit.
right.
That
I
might have.
don't, but other than that, like, unless you're being like creepy and weird, like, I don't, I don't know. I mean, when the return on investment is damaging you.
Right. Well, yeah, that would make
I mean,
sense.
yeah. So
Right.
like you're just starting out, and
Yeah.
you don't even know if you're gonna make $750 to $1,000 on a campaign.
Right.
Promise all this fucking cool shit. Don't invest in
Right.
that yet. But I mean, other than that, I mean, if it's not putting you out,
Right.
if your RIO is still good, then fuck it, go
Right.
for it, go for it.
Right. Yeah, because I was just a little concerned, but yeah, but I guess that's the good rule of thumb. It's like, as long as you're not really putting yourself out,
Right.
it's you're doing, it's like, it's fun, because like, I like to watch like all these artist alley girlies, right? And of course, when they're not doing artist alleys, they're selling their stuff out of their home, and some of them just like, they kind of like, sometimes like the the need for aesthetic actually begins to annoy me,
Yeah.
like, especially with these artists. It's like everything has to be aesthetic, and it's like, there does come a point where it's like, okay, now you're being too much, now you're being way extra, and it's like, and now it's like going, oh, but it was so cool to get the tape and this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, it's like, the tape cost me like $30, but supposedly there should be enough tape for like 200 packages.
Huh.
So, so it's not really that big of an investment, for two campaigns essentially. like I said, the label stickers on the inside of the box, I had those already. They were just sitting around doing nothing. And then it's just like the bookmarks, the postcards, the stickers. It's like it's just that stuff. So yeah, I guess it's like because they're like putting like they're wrapping it like a present, and they're putting like all this stuff and all the color crinkled paper and like
Right.
and and then it's like I remember getting what did I get? I had
Okay,
ordered
so
something.
when's it too much? When you're just filling the box with trash, and that's what
Right.
they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that crinkle paper is fucking garbage. If you're throwing something in that box that's there as like a gift or a thank you to the
Right.
backer, postcards, bookmarks, magnets. I know extremists who do towels, t-shirts,
Right.
beanies, like
Yeah.
that kind of shit. Totally fucking different. But if
Right.
you're just putting a bunch of garbage in my box, it
Right.
doesn't need to be fucking Christmas
Because
morning every time I get
no, because there was one thing that I ordered where they put glitter in the
I
box.
would fucking be pissed.
But
I would.
it was like the big
I'd
chunky
be like,
one.
you cunt.
Like
No,
it's kind of like
no.
like it's in
I have
shapes.
cats. Don't send
Yeah,
shows
it's
to cats.
it's like that's true. It's like those big glitter things that are like in shapes. Or something. So yeah, I had one like that. Like I think they were more like foil confetti rather than
Glitter bombs. Don't send goddamn. That's when it's too much.
And then it's like I was complaining to Jose about that, and he goes, they do it like that so that you take pictures and post it on Instagram, right? And I'm like, yeah, I keep forgetting about
my
that.
ass and post it to Instagram. Like,
it's like, yeah, I forgot about that.
House.
That it's like, yeah, it's like they expect people to get the box and open it, like do an unboxing, and then post it, on Facebook or post it on social media. It's like, oh, look at all this cool, look at this aesthetic package, that I got from this person. Yeah, you see, that's yeah. I don't know. It's like, so with this, it's like I kind of started to get self-conscious about it.
I like the pictures, but you know what I don't give a fuck about is the trash that came with the book.
Right.
Show me the book. Show me the stickers. Show me your bookmarks, your postcards, your magnets. Right. Show me your cool shit, not your fucking garbage. Like, if I saw a picture and somebody took it and there was glitter in this goddamn box, I'm gonna fucking make a mental note of that fucking author's name, and I will never, ever, ever buy anything from her ever.
Right? Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was So I guess so that's kind of like so that's the line to cross. Don't like the second you're putting like garbage.
The second you throw in garbage in a box.
Right. That is it, because at least I don't know, because at least the way I do the bubble, it's reusable if you wanted to use it. The box is reusable. Like this, and then it's like stickers, who doesn't like stickers? There's always a place to put stickers, right? Bookmarks. You always need bookmarks. I guess like the only thing that I would say is like frivolous on my package is the family right here.
That's mood setting.
It's mood, right? It's mood, right?
Right.
I mean, like that's pretty much, and also I think because it's label paper, it peels off really easily. So I guess if you wanted to keep it, you could do that too. So I don't know. Yeah. So I was just a little concerned as to how I was packing these. Like, I'm not sure. I guess it's like, it's okay. Anything beyond this would be too much, right?
I mean, don't put glitter in my box.
No glitter. No glitter. If I can't handle glitter in the house, you're not going to get it. Look, it's bad enough. Probably ships with cat hair in it somewhere. I can't help that. Dander and bird dander. Oh, and trading cards. Jose says we all need trading cards. Yes, we do. Which I will be rounding the corners to those as well. Right? Oh my goodness. So we're kind of settled with that. So the box is okay. Box is fine. Okay, like I said, I just have to wait for I'm waiting for the stuff I'm getting today, which is another bookmark, another postcard, and then the stickers. The stickers that I'm waiting for comes next week, and then whatever individual books I have left. Because people ordered individual copies, so I'm waiting for those, and then once I have everything, then I can start shipping everything out and getting everything out of this house before Jose finishes his next campaign. So, oh my goodness. So yeah, so San Diego Comic-Con, right?
Oh my God, it looks spectacular.
I mean, people are having I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen a lot of our creator friends that happy on a Wednesday.
They're making fucking bank out
on
there.
a Wednesday night. For those of you who don't know, San Diego Comic-Con has a preview night on Wednesdays. I think it's from like 2 to 8 or something. And yeah, and it's like, and people were goddamn happy after that Wednesday. So I could only imagine what it was how it was yesterday, because we were still seeing people going, another great day,
fucking Friday,
you know.
Wait,
and
it
it's
Friday.
Like, it is Friday, right? Yeah.
Me.
So
yeah,
it's like,
today,
so unless there's like a VIP or something, so San Diego Friday should be opening up in about like 15 minutes.
Right.
No, right. It's like 11, 12. Yeah, because 12 would be 12. 12, it would be what, 9
hour,
9
huh?
Yeah, it would be 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. there, I think. So they should be opening up so people are having a good old time there. I mean, it's been years since we've been at San Diego, and I've said this on the Monday show, that it's like, if given a choice between New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con, I would choose San Diego in a heartbeat. You know, the only thing though is just like getting there. The logistics of getting there is a nightmare. The show itself is a beautiful thing. The show is the easiest part.
Outside, just the fucking there's a statue of Goku outside.
Right.
It's like, bro, just outside, the aesthetic of that fucking con is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it really does take over the entire city, pretty much. Because there's also like Petco Park, which is, I think, baseball, right? Yeah, baseball. And they take off Sandy depending on the year. I think there was only 1 year they couldn't take it over because it was an actual game going on.
Wow.
But usually what they do is that, so they have that convention center, and then they have Petco Park, where it's kind of like a separate convention, but that's where all the free events are at.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, from what I understand, it's like what happens in Petco is like, it's a lot of exhibitors, larger exhibitors that are there, like giving away free stuff. A lot of the studios, where they're just doing kind of like an open thing for anybody to come into. So if you can't, so there's that. So technically you have like 2 places, right? And then there's all the pop-up shops also that a lot of companies do as well, just for San Diego. And I was watching a video yesterday because it's I think it's what, the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
The 50th, right?
Yeah.
And so Super 7 did a pop-up shop. Like, it's funny because I think it's nearby. It's kind of like near the lamp, the gas lamp district. That's where all the restaurants are. And it's a little near, because it was funny was that I saw the video and it's like, I recognized the place, like just not the store, but like the area. Right. But I'm pretty sure it's nearby, but I just don't know exactly where it is. And so they showed, so this guy did a preview of the pop-up shop, the Dungeons and Dragons pop-up shop, for the show. They did a press preview, right? So they was there. He was recording everything, right? And they were showing this diorama that they made with. So I guess that they're doing all the special action figures for the cartoon series, for the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. So they have Hank, Sheila, Decion, Shadow something. I forgot his name. The Shadow assistant that Venger had, and they had Tiamat, right? So the Tiamat was like this huge honking vinyl thing, it's like, because I'm not, so it's like, and it's like what, that $300, and it's like, beautiful, but no, not in my budget, right? But then I remembered like the Hank and Sheila, Super 7 Hank and Sheila was still available. So I put that's on pre-order, the Super 7 version. There, I think Mattel had put out their own version of the main characters. But I didn't pick those up because I didn't like their sculpts. And I like the sculpts on Super 7, on the Super 7 toys better. So I did a pre-order for the Hank and Sheila, and then hopefully they'll put out the rest of the main characters. I'm not interested in Dekion and all and I'm not spending no $300 on Tiamat. So because I like their sculpts better, so at least they're a little bit more expensive, but also I think I'm in the middle of anxiety shopping, so I'm not sure.
Me too. You should see my
I'm not
list,
sure.
Jackie.
Yeah,
The shit I have coming in the mail. I'm like, already, I'm questioning my own sanity.
Yeah, no, for real. I think I've been like stress shopping, and it's like I'm like going, oh,
Rips.
a lot happened this past month.
It's been a year.
It's
since the beginning of July.
Yeah, I know, really. So I put those on pre-order. You know what's really funny? You know what's awful? You know what's really awful?
What's that?
Remember that werewolf toy that I bought months ago?
Oh yeah, that was a fantastic looking piece.
For the life of me, I can't remember who I bought it from, and I can't find the receipt. And it's like, and I don't know, like, when is that supposed to
our
ship?
messages, because I know we talked about it. So it should be in our messenger.
Right. Oh, but that was like a while ago.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's
oh my god, I'm like, oh well, I'll just use the keyword werewolf in our messenger.
Oh no, not on our messages. Oh great, yeah, that doesn't narrow it down. No, but it's like, so I can't remember who I bought the toy from.
I don't
it's
either.
not like like the toy is like long paid for. I'm not worried about it, but I just remember it's like, oh shit, I ordered something that I haven't received yet.
I know this. I'll find it for you.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure it's still on pre-order. It's either on pre-order or it's in production. Because usually these
in pre-order when you ordered it.
Yeah. So because toys, toys are not an easy thing to manufacture, even for the largest companies. I mean, even it's like, because a toy takes you're talking about all the production time leading up to it, right? And then the actual manufacture could take up to like 6 months to a year, depending, on how everything's going, right? So, so the fact that I don't have it yet doesn't worry me, because it's like, oh, it's probably still in production, but I just don't remember who I bought it from to look it up. It's long paid for, but I don't remember who I bought it from. So I did the pre-order for the Hank and Sheila action figures from Super 7. And I just wish they didn't come with all the extra shit. I never use the extra shit. I just usually take the defaults, because you can change out the faces, the hands, because they're posed. And it's like, look, just give me the default model and I'm good. It's like, I'm just going to put them up and that's it. So I started remembering stuff about the cartoon, right? And then it's like, because I also follow the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon fan group on Facebook. Right. And the one thing, it's like, and the one thing that a lot of people, that they just wish, it's like, oh, I wish that they would bring this back. I wish that they would redo it. I wish they would remake it. It's like, ever since Renault, I think it was Renault, they did a commercial for the Brazilian market, where they literally did a mini episode of Dungeons and Dragons, because Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon, was huge in Brazil. I remember watching a lot of the episodes in Portuguese, and Renault did a commercial for the Brazilian market using the kids. And it's beautiful. Like, if it was a movie, this is what it would look like. Like, that's how serious they were, right? So it's considered the standard. So that commercial is considered the standard of what everybody would like to see a live action Dungeons and Dragons cartoon look like, right? So it's like, so when Dungeons and Dragons the movie came out, and they had like a little homage to the kids in the maze scene at the end, like everyone's like, the commercial's better and this, that, and the other thing. But it's like, look, at least, they didn't kill off the characters, it's like, it was just a little nice little homage to them, in the movie. But then it's like, there's always somebody who kind of has to ruin the conversation, right? Remember, like one of these things, right?
Right.
And everyone's talking about like how excited, how it's like, oh, what would a cartoon, what would the cartoon, if they redid it now, what would it look like? And this and the other thing, I was like, I wish they would keep it, like the thematically dark the way they did back then. And then someone had to pop up and say, it's like, it's like, you don't want a new cartoon because they'll just make it woke. And then of course it's like code word. So I automatically block anybody who uses the word woke unironically. It's like, shut up, get a brain, know what you're talking about, and goodbye. Delete it. I don't need to hear from you anymore. Right. So, I mean, it's like, really, it's like Einstein repeats words less than the way people throw around the word woke like it means something. Right. And it's like, look, not for nothing. Look, woke has an actual definition. Right. It's originally from African American vernacular English, and it means to be aware of your political surroundings. Okay. That's pretty much what that means. That it's like a lot of problems are systematic. Do not confuse them for being individual issues. That's what they mean. Stay woke. Don't be asleep. It's kind of like a reference to They Live, right?
Right.
You put on the glasses and you see obey and spend and all that shit. So you take off the glasses, you're asleep. When you put the glasses on, you're awake. That's what that's kind of, I don't think it's an actual reference to They Live, but that's what they're talking about, right? But instead, it's like it got completely distorted into meaning, oh my God, there's Black people in my fantasy series again. So that's usually what people use them in context for,
wow.
Right? So I block anybody who uses that word unironically. But the thing is, though, it made me laugh at the same time, right? Because then I started thinking about the politics of 80s cartoons in that era, like in general. And it's like the amount of politics that went into every fucking cartoon that came out at that time. You think the shit you're seeing now is woke? Like back then, there was an actual committee that forced television stations to follow their specific agendas for every cartoon that came out at that time. For the life of me, I cannot remember what this council, it's like the Family Council or something like that. I was trying to look it up on Google and I couldn't find their name for it, for this organization. But they had a hand in every fucking cartoon that came out at that time. Because it's like Reagan had pulled the regulations against advertising towards children, right? So this is where we had the golden age of cartoons, of television cartoons, because now all these toy companies were able to make cartoons based on their products. Pretty much we were watching commercials without watching commercials, right? And the ironic thing about it is that this was actually started by the Children's Television Network, which are the owners of Sesame Street. And they were the ones that initiated the lawsuit that led to this deregulation towards advertising towards children. Because they wanted to sell merchandise, Sesame Street merchandise, in order to finance more episodes of Sesame Street. Uh-oh, what did you find?
I'm just going through our messages, right?
Oh,
Dude, we're terrible people.
we are terrible people. Yes, we are.
It's gonna be warm in hell.
Oh no, we're never gonna go to heaven.
Hey, Dave.
Oh hey. so that was kind of like the irony of it. So it was actually Sesame Street that started that whole thing towards deregulation, right? So now Reagan pulls the regulation.
That might be it.
That might be it. That
I mean,
I couldn't
yeah,
find it on
might
the
be it.
store because I bought it from the actual from the actual company, not through
I
Big Bad Toy Store.
I used werewolf as the
Um,
reference, as the starting point in our conversation. And
oh,
the way
jeez.
the new search works in messengers, it just brings up the sentence on the side now,
Right.
instead of making you go through the results. And it's like werewolf and cock. It's like, dude,
Oh no! Yeah, we're never going to heaven.
how
We're
many,
never going
like,
to heaven.
every fucking I was like, gee,
Oh my
oh
goodness!
my god.
What? What? Oh my goodness! So what happened is that so now toy companies had kind of like this permission to make shows based on their toy lines to to kind of like low key advertise the kids. Problem was that there was this organization like this family council or whatnot that stepped in to say that no, we are not going we're not going to allow you to have carte blanche on making these cartoons.
Right.
So they created the equivalent of the Hays Code for these 80s cartoons, that if you want to do your cartoons, you have to follow these mandates, or else we're going to make it very difficult for the television stations to air your stuff if you don't
Right.
make these changes, right? So it's like if there's like a certain sameness to a lot of these 80s cartoons, it's because of them. And this is where the whole woke thing comes in, right? Because part of the agenda is that every cartoon had to have a moral, right? The whole that the whole GI Joe, knowing is half the battle. That's because of that they had to shoehorn that in to kind of like explain to kids, don't be a dick, kids, and because knowing's half the battle.
Every
that
fucking episode.
every
He-Man,
episode,
She-Ra,
every
G.I. Joe.
cartoon had that at the end where they had to spell out the moral of the episode to
Because kids
the
are
kids
dumb.
because kids are stupid, right? It's like nobody knows subtext. Even the adult. But honestly, though, this was honestly more for adults rather than the kids. I don't think the kids really cared less.
No, we
In
tuned
fact,
out by that point.
yeah,
By the
because
time they came up, when the screen went black and faded
Right.
back in, we were already going for a
because
snack.
the irony, because there were studies done after the fact as to whether those morals had any those like end of before credit
I don't think
morals.
they did.
It's like like did anything to children's development. And what they found out is that most of the time kids did ignore them. That if you had an anti-bullying message in a cartoon, the kids didn't absorb that. The kids were like, it's like, we don't know. It's like, I don't know her. The kids were like that, It's like, it didn't curb bullying any more than anything else, any more than the anti-drug specials with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kept the kids from the koosh.
Yeah, well.
Whatever this shit's called. Right. I mean, it's so it's like
not necessarily a bad thing, but
but the thing is though,
ineffective.
Yeah, it turned out just to be ineffective.
Okay.
So
maybe they
but also the other things that they were mandating, right, is that characters act a certain way. Like each character had to be representative of a certain virtue, either a certain virtue or a certain vice. Right. And if you were representative of a vice, your character had to be punished in every episode.
Nice.
Right. And it's like I think the most egregious one that people kind of said was like, if you really look back on it, it's super creepy when you think about it. Remember the show The Get Along Gang?
Oh yeah.
right?
With the little moose
So,
and shit.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the moral of everyone, if you watch enough of those episodes, what that teaches you, one of the mandates that they said that these shows had to show children is that outliers are always punished.
Wow.
And it's kind of one of those things that you don't see until like 2020, hindsight being 2020.
Right.
Outliers are always punished. You always the only people
Don't
who
be different.
thrive,
Be
yeah,
the
don't be
same.
different. Don't go against the group,
Right.
right? Don't go get along, gang, right?
Jesus.
Right. So they
Nah.
said that was the one that was the show that was the most egregious. But the thing is, though, is like every other show had kind of like this that theme going on, that you never go against the group.
Hmm.
Also the other thing, then it's like you have something, then you have kind of like, also there were little diversity quotas too. I mean, it's like, for everyone complaining about diversity quotas now, that was the shit back then.
Right.
I mean, it's like every show had to have a woman, a black, 2 Jews, and a cripple.
Hey.
I mean, and the funny thing is that that's exactly what South Park is goofing on.
Right.
That you have to have. Actually, that phrase was from an actual politician who like destroyed his career by saying that. He was trying, it was like, I forgot who he was. It was like somewhere like in the early 80s, where he was trying to brag about how diverse his cabinet was. And that's literally how he describes it. I have a black, a woman, 2 Jews, and a cripple. Completely destroyed his career. I forgot who said that. But if Google's not being a shit, you can find out very quickly.
What do you mean his name's not Token?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So it was the same thing in 80s cartoons, that they all had to have kind of like this. They had to have, you have to have diverse this, you have to have, you have to have the kid in the wheelchair. You have to have the black kid. You have to have the kid in the glasses. You have to have the Smurfette, and you have to have the guy who's the leader.
Right.
And if you look at all of these, and if you look at all of these shows, that's what it is. The guy is always the leader, and everybody. So yeah, so don't talk to me about how cartoons now are woke, or they have agendas. It's like, oh honey, you didn't pay attention at all back then, did you?
It wasn't just cartoons, it was any children's programming at the time period, because yeah, like that they addressed that on Quiet on the Set, the Nickelodeon documentary.
Yeah. So it's like, is that the one where like one of the actors was molesting everybody?
Yeah. Well, not an actor, a producer or somebody. Okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, but it was the cartoons that were the problem, right?
Right.
But right. So Dungeons and Dragons, right? The reason, so Dungeons and Dragons held a very special place in that time period, because it's like, because on top of everything, Dungeons and Dragons was also in the middle of the whole satanic panic thing, right? Where satanic panic was the moral panic of the day, where it's like everybody was seeing Satan worshipers everywhere. It was retarded. I don't know what everybody was smoking. I think it started with the Macmillan child care,
the daycare
center, right?
Right.
And it turned out the whole thing was manufactured. It's like, yeah, no kidding. But so the cartoon itself had a lot of this drama around it, right? But not only that, like, so I think like one of the so Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon, had a lot of really like what we would like J. Michael Straczynski wrote episodes for Dungeons and Dragons, right? And he was talking about like what he hated about this council, right? It was that the way that they forced them to write the character of Eric, right? The Cavalier, right? Because they said that, oh, he has to be the vice character, So Eric is supposed to represent, greed and sloth and laziness, and because, oh, he's the rich kid, so he thinks he's better than everybody. So he's the one that's always going to be made a fool of in the cartoon, right? And J. Michael Straczynski was talking about how he hated that mandate. Yeah, he did like a lot of like comic book writers now started off writing 80s cartoons. I think there's a whole bunch of them.
Right.
Well, but J. Michael, he went off to do Babylon 5 and
Right.
Well, no, because side note, because I'm a fountain of useless knowledge. George R. R. Martin, right? George R. R. Martin, he actually started to write Game of Thrones because of the original writer's strike.
Nice.
It's because I think like before then he was writing for like Beauty and the Beast. Remember with the Ron Perlman and the lady from Terminator. I forgot her name.
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton, right? He was writing episodes for that. I mean, I know he probably worked on other shows as well. But then when the writer strikes happened, he said he needed to do something. So that's why he started writing Game of Thrones.
Wow. Okay.
Because he needed to do something and he needed to keep busy. So
now if he'd only finish.
Right. Well, the thing is that the thing that I've read, I guess the theory is that because he was originally a TV writer, when the TV show came out, he kind of like, well, this is what I wanted to do anyway. So that's why he's kind of taking forever on the last book, even though supposedly they announced it already. But side note, right?
So mad.
So Straczynski was complaining about the fact that he hated this council because they were putting like so much pressure on them to the point where they wanted to ban episodes because Dungeons and Dragons was very kind of unique at the time because also the stories were darker.
Right.
So there was one particular episode that almost got the show canceled. It's called The Dragon's Graveyard. Right. And the main crux of the show of the episode is that the kids end up cornering Venger in the dragon's graveyard. And they have him pretty much as a prisoner. And the kids literally think about killing Venger in that episode. I mean, that's like, you know what? If we kill Venger, it ends everything right here, right now. Right. And I don't dark. Yeah, it's dark as fuck, but it's like, holy shit, yeah. It's like that's so what happens, like I'm not sure if they had to change it because I don't remember the episode very well detail wise. I just remember the crux of the show, and I remember Hank saying it's like, oh, we have to let him go or we won't be any better than that, right? But it was that episode that almost got the show canceled because then it's like these other family groups came in. Oh, you're promoting violence, to children, right? And then one of them actually went to the FCC trying to force, I think it was CBS, to put disclaimers in front of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon saying that watching this cartoon may cause violence and has been linked to violence because the whole satanic panic thing. And it's like, no, I think like everyone told them to fuck off. Like somebody had to draw the line somewhere, right?
Right.
So, so it's like, so yeah, so there's just like Dungeons and Dragons was just a very strange, it was a very odd cartoon, which is why it stood out for me so much back then, right? Because like the stories were not kind of the same as everybody else, It's like, because you watch He-Man and She-Ra, which was also a huge influence for me. And it's like, yeah, it kind of had violence and the bad guy, but you couldn't really take Skeletor seriously.
No, you couldn't.
I wonder what evil I can do. My He-Man today. Like that was like his vibe. Oh, you nincompoop, that type of thing.
Mine too, bro. Mine too.
And so you couldn't really take that seriously, but Dungeons and Dragons had real stakes.
Right.
It had a villain who acted like a villain, right? Then you had Tiamat, which was like a force of nature. That it's like there was like Tiamat, like even though she was kind of like the bad guy, she wasn't really. She was just a force of that's like calling. It's like with Pacific Rims. It's like calling a hurricane evil. It's no such thing. It's just a force of nature. Right? It's like how they're doing. It's like Godzilla. Godzilla is a force of nature. There's no stopping it. That's what Tiamat was, right? Well, in the end, that's what we do as kids. We just make up our own shit.
But what's really funny is, let me point this out. During the Satanic Panic, all of a sudden, all the middle schoolers and shit really did start fucking cults. Everybody I knew was in a goddamn coven.
Because it's like all the parents were making it sound cool.
Yeah, we didn't know. Next thing you know, we're fucking drawing pentagrams and fucking melting candles.
I don't know. It's upsetting parents. Yeah, it's upsetting parents for a reason. Let's do this.
So, I mean, for real.
Like, they ended up, like, creating...
That's a brain.
Hey, a brain. Yes, hey, a brain. I mean, it's like, they ended up creating the issue that they were, like, freaking out about, to begin with. But in the end, though, the Satanism, the hot topic Satanism that came out, I mean, it's aesthetic. It's like, it was just like, nobody was really into this shit. It's just that they saw parents upset about something and they took it as an aesthetic, as a form of rebellion, because that's what kids do, So Dungeons and Dragons, right? So going back, right? So over the past, so past Dungeons and Dragons, right? So over the past several years, right? There has been, like kind of like a thing happening in animation that I really wasn't liking. Well, even in movies in general, that I wasn't really liking. And because of that, I found myself becoming less and less interested in media in that sense. Like, I would try to watch stuff, and then it's like anything that was interesting would for some reason get canceled. Like, I think like the last show that I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm not paying attention to this anymore, was when they canceled Age of Resistance, the Dark Crystal.
That was so
because it's like, holy shit, I did not know that they were able to make the Skeksis more depraved than they were in the movie, you know?
They were awful.
I mean, and that's what made it great, because it put real stakes in the fight. It's like, yes, this is what you're resisting. I mean, it's like freaking bird Nazis. You even had, friggin' Skeksis Mengele, in the back.
On production costs, but yet they keep the fucking Fellowship of the Ring or the Ring bullshit.
No, that's Amazon.
Oh, whatever.
That's Amazon.
Netflix has its equivalent of that garbage, and it's like, man, bring that shit back.
Right?
Grab that motherfucker.
So what it was that it was too expensive for what they felt was the return on the subscribers. So it's like that they would rather put out, like cheap shit, or whatever that no one's watching, rather than, do prestige television, because Netflix wanted to for a little while be like HBO and do prestige television, when they realized, oh, we're not really interested in that. It's not giving us the return, when that's not the point of prestige television.
Right.
But that's like a different conversation. But so I started noticing this with, I guess, like the early Marvel movies, where it's like all of a sudden, like they started to, for each like movie that came out, they were kind of like toning down the villains, and it's like, and then I started noticing this with Disney cartoons, Disney movies, where all of a sudden, like the villains were like really, really, like the last good villain, like honestly, to this day, I cannot believe they did Hunchback of Notre Dame the way they did. I mean, Judge Frollo was literally a guy who wanted to burn down all of Paris because he couldn't get gypsy pussy.
I
mean, really.
That should be driving me mad.
I mean, really. It's like that was like, holy shit. And it's like Tarzan, it's like, yeah. So that was the really, like, it's like, I think, well, who was the last good villain? Like maybe Mother Gothel,
Mother Gothel was good.
You know, it's like, you know, the last, and then after that, it all became existential crisis.
Right.
Like there just came a point where they switched over from having villains to everybody has existential crisis. The villain wasn't you long.
Yeah, no, they and they all
know?
have redemption story arcs and all
Right,
this other,
you know, it's kind of, you know, and it's like, and I it's like, I think my last straw was the Maleficent movie, where it's like, why does Maleficent need a backstory? Why does she need a redemption arc? She's a villain. She just needs to
although
be
it was
there.
a good movie.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, I mean, it's like her story arc was actually pretty good.
It was actually
I
pretty
don't know.
good.
You know, but it's like the fact that then after that, right? So, and it was especially egregious when they did Star Wars, right? Because kids are not as stupid as parents like to pretend that they are.
Right.
That's the thing. It's not that, oh my God, they allowed kids to watch that. It's like, no, it's like back then, it's like, look, back then, it's like we had the concept of the latchkey kid.
Right.
You know, you're fucking 9, 10, 11, and
we
you
set
had
our
your
alarm
own
clocks and got up for the bus ourselves, cooked ourselves breakfast. Like,
right, because mom and dad couldn't be bothered because they had to go to work. And it's like, you know what? You old enough to get out of bed, you old enough to do this shit yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? Oh, because it's like, because also here's the thing too, right? Sidebar.
Always.
What's really funny was that I said that I didn't have the energy for another long vlog, and no, we're not done yet. We're not done yet, right? Guess how old the characters are in Dungeons and Dragons. Guess how old the characters are supposed to be in Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon. Guess how old?
I don't know. Only one of them ever really came off to me as a child.
Oh, here's one that'll throw you off. Guess how old He-Man and She-Ra are supposed to be?
16.
They're supposed to be 16. They're supposed to be 16. They fucking look like they're in their 40s in the goddamn cartoon, right?
Right.
So the kids in Dungeons and Dragons, so Hank is supposed to be the oldest one at 15. Diana is 14. I think Presto is supposed to be 13. Yeah, 12 to 15.
Wow. And see, only one as a child did I see as a child.
Right.
And I can't even remember who it was anymore.
Like 15. It's like, I don't even remember. I mean, I remember the hot mess I was at 15. And these kids are going around fighting dragons and shit.
Right.
At 15, at 14, at 13. You know, I mean, I have no sense of how old anybody is supposed to be. You know, it's like, really? They're supposed to be 14. Could you imagine? It's like kind of like watching the Hunger Games, right?
Right.
And it's like in the book, Katniss is 14. Everybody is 14.
Right.
But when they made the movie, they thought it was creepy, so they aged everybody up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, that was the point of the Hunger Games, that the government was pitting fucking 14-year-olds against each other.
Yeah,
to the
kids
death.
Fight to the death.
Could you imagine how different, right? Because there was a meme that I saw where it's like they showed all the actors from the Hunger Games and then the actual actors at 14, and the difference was stark.
Well, yeah,
right?
because that's that
it's
last
like,
baby phase before full-blown puberty.
Right. It's like, imagine if they actually casted 14-year-olds in the Hunger Games, how different would everybody have taken the movie? Right?
Oh, it would have been even more brutal. And it was bad enough.
Right. You know, it's like, because that was the whole point, you know, especially when you have an audience that's pushing a love story between two of the characters. Right. And then you have to remember, these are fucking 14-year-olds.
Right.
Sidebar, but that was a sidebar. I
love sidebars.
Sidebars, right?
Sidebars.
So like I said, so it's like there has been this change in animation, right? In movies and especially when Disney got Star Wars, right? It's like, look, I liked the first movie. I thought it was the new one. what they call it, The Force Awakens, right? I liked the potential of that movie, but it's kind of like the studio panicked after
There is
that
a huge
first.
difference.
Yeah, I know, right? That so they panicked, and it's like all of a sudden we have to redeem everybody, and we have to do this, we have to do that, and the other thing, right? And also, I noticed this with after the first Thor movie, right? Is that all of a sudden you started seeing kind of like the princessification of these characters. It's like, in the way Disney works, you're either a princess or you're either a villain. And if Disney doesn't want villains anymore, who do you have left? Right? What are you? It's like you're kind of like, well, it's like you kind of have to actually, okay. Yeah, you started seeing the princessification of everything. All of a sudden, Han Solo lost his edge, right? All of a sudden, all like kind of like the anti-hero characters lost their edge. We saw this with Boba Fett. All of a sudden, he's kind of like a good guy now. It's like, oh, it's whatever. All of a sudden, Kylo Ren, who was supposed to be Space Caligula, they turned him into like, oh, Ben Solo, he was good all along. It's like, just ignore the fact that he committed genocide and murdered his father. Just ignore that, and and it's like, they just really started softening up the villains, or they just removed the villains altogether. Oh, it was existential crisis all along, right? We're sending Norse gods to therapy. It's like, because like Loki, right? You take no, really, right? It's like, because she's kind of like a bad guy in the actual story.
The Ice Queen,
right?
Jeez.
So it's like, so I watched Thor, right? And Loki's the bad guy, right?
Right.
But all of a sudden, there was, because they sensed, there's a shift in the fandom.
Oh, there's sex appeal.
There's a shift in I feel a great disturbance in the fandom.
Hello, HR.
Right. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, Loki's really popular. We can't keep him a villain.
It's like, what made him popular? You fucking moron.
Right? In the comic, he's a villain. He's a fucking villain. He's always Thor's foil. He's unapologetically Thor's foil. Right? But it's like, oh, we have to take advantage of the fandom, the popularity of the fandom. So now all of a sudden, Loki has this weird redemption arc. We send him to therapy, and now it's like he's a good guy. Now we're okay with it's like he's not a villain anymore, right? And they started doing this with all these other characters too. And it's like, it's either the villain, and it's like, look, Thanos is not a good villain. He's kind of like up there with Skeletor in like how laughable his bullshit is. It's like, let's base a villain on a guy who took economics 101 and thinks he knows how to solve the problems of the universe, right? And it's like, no, it like Thanos was stupid. So C had posted. I'm like all over the place here.
It's fine.
So C had posted this thing that really resonated with me, that I've been wanting to talk about for like the past, I just kept forgetting, right? So he posted this thing, right? So it's Maxwell Adams, the creator of Billy and Mandy, the cartoon, I think it was on Cartoon Network, right? And his thoughts on the current state of cartoons right now. So we're going to just go back to, 80s cartoons and cartoons and So someone had asked, an anonymous person had asked, they don't seem to make darkly satirical kids cartoons like yours or was it Johan V's Invader Zim?
Yes.
I know is that how they pronounce his name? How do they pronounce his name? The guy who did Invader Zim.
And I know this, Daphne.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. But okay, so because it's like Johan Invader.
Fuck, I can't even remember.
Okay, he did Invader Zim.
Invader Zim is one of my fucking favorites, dude.
Right. So he says, any more these days, it's either happy, shouty post-season 3 SpongeBob or weepy, melodramatic Steven Universe clones. Ham-fisted therapy as story. I love that phrase. Ham-fisted therapy as story. Sporadic lore, ripping off shonen or shoujo anime. Why is this, do you think? Right? So this is the question that's being asked to Maxwell Adams. And then he answers. Networks tell me that parents just want to put their kids down in front of a TV for X hours and not have the kid come away with any ideas. They don't want kids repeatedly shouting a funny phrase or asking a bunch of annoying questions. They just want some goddamn peace and quiet and maybe a bottle of Chardonnay. Networks also don't want controversy or lawsuits. I literally could not make Billy and Mandy today because it involves satire and parody, and network legal departments don't even fuck with that shit anymore. If made today, Billy and Mandy would have zero Star Wars or Dune jokes. Nigel Planter would not exist. And of course, the Grim Reaper himself would be a step too far. Finally, the entire industry has adopted the Disney ideal that no one is bad. Shows are expected to have antagonists, but those antagonists must also somehow be aspirational. At worst, an anti-hero. See literally any Disney property. In the end, there can be no tangible conflict. So plots either become silly nonsense, and I love me some gag cartoons, or light melodrama. That's where we're at. So the whole like therapy as a thinly veiled plot point, as what was that? It was ham-fisted therapy as story. Because it's like, that was the funny thing, right? Because it's like, technically it's no different than what we were seeing in the 80s. Oh, don't bully kids. It's not good to be a bully, except now they're couching it in like this academic speak that was never meant to be part of social jargon, right? Of the popular jargon. It was no one was ever supposed to use problematic in a sentence outside of academia, stuff like that, no one was meant to use that word like that. But here we are. Okay, Rob says my daughter will stop whatever she is doing if I'm playing Legend of Zelda and ask nonstop questions. Daddy, 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 daddy. Well, it seems like a lot of parents don't want that.
No, they don't. And so what do? They sit it. They plop that fucker down in front of the fucking new TV host that talks directly to the child, that they're the fucking parent of your kid now. And then you wonder why, oh my God, what's that fucking woman's name? She drives me fucking batshit crazy. I would never in a billion years let my kids watch her. But it's like, these kids are like, they cry for her and stuff. Like, I mean, it's like,
wow,
you're my mommy.
I'm out of it.
Like, it's fucking insane, man. They want a goddamn babysitter. Keep my kids
right.
Don't teach them anything.
Right. They want. It's like, look, the only reason they're forcing cartoons to be that way is because it's illegal to feed your own kids Xanax.
Wow.
I mean, if parents could keep their kids drugged up and tied to the bed for the entire day, they would.
They'll put NyQuil in bottles.
Right. Yeah.
Who would have this shit?
It's like, or it's like, yeah, it was my friend used to call it a Harry Potter potion. Everything, because he's terrified.
Zelda's more interesting than the garbage they're trying to push.
Right. Yeah. It's like he's terrified of flying. So every time he goes to take an airplane, he takes a flask with him that it has vodka, NyQuil, and Xanax. And then he says he just takes a gulp of it, and then he doesn't remember anything until he lands.
That's the American Airlines special. I thought everybody did that.
So it's like, yeah. So it's like, so that's how we're in this kind of like situation. So it's kind of like, say it's like, oh, it's all the participation trophies. Well, who gave the kids the participation trophies, Karen? Who did that?
Oh.
Who did that? It's like, you want to know why your kids are soft because you wanted to fucking nerf everything. You're the ones who said that everything has to be nerfed. My kids have to be protected 100% of the time. And society has to do it because I can't be bothered.
Damn straight.
You know, like that's how we're ending up in the situation that we're at creatively,
bubble
where
wrap
everything, where
society.
all our media is being squished down to this safe gray pace that has, that God forbid, it's spicier than mayonnaise. You know, because nobody wants to answer any questions.
Right.
You know, you know. Meanwhile, no one's keeping an eye on Uncle Ted.
Ouch.
You know, yeah, it's the cartoons that are doing it. It's the
Right.
librarians that are doing it, right?
Right.
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 You know, so you know, it's like, you know, no one's keeping an eye on Father Jones.
Ooh.
You
Ouch.
know, nobody's keeping an eye on Principal Jensen.
Word.
You know, but you know, no one's keeping an eye on the executive producer. But it's the TV show that's the problem. It's the cartoon that's the problem, right? It's you know, everything's problematic. Fuck you. That's not what the word means. You know, people just making up definitions for words. Like I said, it's like the word problematic is an academic word. It doesn't mean what you think it means. It's kind of like the other day so the whole thing, like the phrase Stockholm syndrome, you know, that's made up, right? Like there's no such thing as Stockholm syndrome.
Huh.
The actual clinical phrase is trauma bonding.
Oh yeah.
Right. But the problem is that these smooth-brained hot topic shitheads on Twitter decided that trauma bonding means when two people bond over shared trauma, which is not what the word means. The phrase means the bond that's created between an abuser and their victim.
Right.
Right? That's the real terminology. When you mean Stockholm syndrome, the real phrase is trauma bonding.
But the definition of trauma bonding has been convoluted now,
Right.
and like
It's been completely like, yeah, it's like,
so
again,
now when you say trauma bonding, people like okay, like
oh
serious,
gee, that happened to me too.
right?
No, that's not what that phrase means. You know, and the problem is that when it's like I said, these were academic words that were never meant for the general populace. And because now it's in the general populace the way it is, these words have become very watered down and meaningless. You know, that a real conversation about the actual issue, it's very difficult to have because everybody
No one
has
knows what the word means. Everybody's got their own definition.
exactly. It's like you have to establish definitions at
Right.
the beginning of it, right? At the beginning of the conversation. Okay, this is what it means when I'm talking about this, and that.
Right.
When I say something is problematic, it doesn't mean something you're uncomfortable with. It just means I'm trying to figure out a problem between these two things.
Right.
You know, do I go to the supermarket now, or do I go to the
whoa, problematic. I mean,
right, all these words. It's like, you know
what?
what? All these words that go on the top shelf, so nobody can use them. All the babies can't use them, right? But again, that's kind of was a tangent. that kind of was the tangent, right? But yeah, so it's like, so if you ever wonder why the media that you're watching is kind of shitty now, and you're kind of wondering, where did all the bad guys go? Where did all the villains go? Why is everything an existential crisis now? Who gains by telling you that heroes don't exist? That's the thing that bothers me. Honestly, tell you the truth, that bothers me just as much as the whole there's no villains and heroes don't exist. Who benefits from that idea?
Only the villain.
You know, who benefits from telling you there are no villains and there are no heroes? You know, because think about it. What they're really saying is that if people do bad things, they have their reasons for that, but there's nothing you can do about it. Who benefits from that? Is that the real lesson they're trying to give us in cartoons now? Is knowing really half the battle? Oh my God. It's like, okay, my ADHD brain is just it'll just keep going if I don't stop it right now.
I love it so much. I'm gonna lick your brain.
Oh no. It'll give me pink eye.
That only happened once.
You know. No, that she had pink eye. She didn't give me pink eye. Oh my goodness. I think we should probably end it here before we just like, I don't know, implode or something. I really do gotta go to the post office. Oh my goodness. So you have any final thoughts on
So we could go.
okay, yeah. Because I gotta get those Oswald books out, so that it's like I could fuss more with my Kickstarter box here. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much everybody in the chat for joining me for joining us on this unusual Friday. I don't know. We were in a mood. So thank you so much for joining us in the chat, giving us your 2 cents in this economy. And thank you so much to the beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. Thank you so much for watching us, well, and putting up with my rambling, in this hour, a little over an hour and a half. Whatever. Sometimes it has so much for a short episode, right? Jesus Christ. So if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and all my other upcoming campaigns and stuff like that, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. And you can catch me on YouTube as well at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, where you can watch almost 600 videos and live streams of how I do my artwork. And you could also catch me live on my semi-weekly art live streams Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's from 4 to 6, 2 hours of just me working on whatever and just having a conversation with the chat. We usually it's a lot more. If you think this is free form, that is a lot more free form. We just talk about anything. On the live stream. So join me there. It's kind of like being at a convention, but without blocking my table. And also you can read Eagle Raven, Air the First Unicorn for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILSonline.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears in the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday and will return to Kickstarter in a volume 1 later on this year, collecting issues 1 through 4 of that 8-issue limited series. And remember, House of Bob returns to Kickstarter August 19th with the sketchbook duo Fetish Fantasy and Mondo Bondo. The link is in the show notes and in the chat as well. It's 2 collections, the start of a sketchbook series of adults only furry fetish pieces for all of you, or they could be mini coloring books depending on how you look at it. So mini adult coloring books, crayons not included. So thank you so much again. Also remember, Jose has the Oswald Chronicles on Kickstarter right now, live, link in the show notes. When Tender Souls Mourn issues 1 and 2. So last I checked, he was more than halfway to funding. Thank you everybody who pledged so far. Like I said, link is in the show notes and in the chat. Thank you so much again. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.